Today I'm going to discuss the most important topic is all about the second year, third year BA program and English honors students who have the translation subject. Translation subject is very important as who are pursuing English A course. So I'm going to discuss about the first topic at the beginning topic of the translation, which is very important, and the questions are coming in your question papers and again and again. And you have to understand firstly what is the translation and type of translation. So I'm going to discuss translation and type of translation. Translations can be split in various numerous of categories, including literary translations, prose, poetry, drama, etc. Non-literary translations, for example, translation of scientific and technical texts, social science and humanity text, commercial text, informative text, or audiovisual translations. So in this paragraph, we comes to know that how the translation can be split in various numbers of categories, including literary translation, prose, poetry, drama, etc., and non-literary translation, prose, for example, translation of scientific, technical text, social science and humanity text, commercial text, and informative text, and audiovisual translations. So here we have so many type of translations. In the next paragraph, each category of translation has its own specific characteristics and presents its own difficulties. The department faculty members have publications and research projects in all these areas. Each category of translation has its own specific characteristics and presents its own difficulties. So each category have its own difficulties while and its own characteristics while we trying to translate in one language to another language. Department faculties members have publications and research projects in all of these areas. Okay. According to the department of faculty, students are provided the opportunity to develop their translation skills in a range of fields with the courses on the translations of a wide range of different text types. According to the department and faculty, students are provided the opportunity to develop their translation skills in a range of fields with courses on the translations of a wide range of different text types. So in this paragraph, we comes to know that how the students are preparing themselves for the translation process while they are translating poetry, dramas, and literary and non-literary translations, and how they make themselves enough capable to translate into a one language to the another language without any difficulties, and how the teachers and all the faculty members are helpful for them through the books as well as themselves. Okay, including technical translation, legal translation, audiovisual translation, and translation text in the field of archaeology, art, economics, and social science, including technical translation, legal translation, audio video translation, and translation text in the field of archaeology, art, economics, and social science. Okay, so there are lots of type of translations which is belonging to the legal, audiovisual, translating text in the field of archaeology, arts, economics, and social science. Now I'm going to discuss semantic translation. What is semantic translation? Semantic translation is the process of using semantic information to the add in the translations of data in one representations or data models to another representations or data models. Okay. Semantic translation is the process of using semantic information to aid in the translation of data. So, data is all about like the computer in the laptop, and while while we are talking about the uh, all the technical information and technical things, so is all about the information which is collected in the computer as well as in the phone is all about the data. So semantic information is all about the technical information and technical translations, and in one representations or data models to another representations of data models. Semantic translation takes advantage of semantic that associate meanings with individual data element in one dictionary to create an equivalent meaning in a second system. Semantic translations takes advantage of semantic that associate means with individual data element in one dictionary to create an equivalent meaning. So in one dictionary मतलब word dictionaries में वो create होता है equivalent just as equal meaning in the second system. Okay. An example: translation is a conversational is a conversation is the semantic. An example of semantic translation is that converse, conversational of XML data from one data model to the second data models using formal ontologies for each system, such as the Web Ontology Language (OWL). So, as I have told you, is all about the technical informations which is feed it in the computer on the Google website, all the web series and all that things. So here we have the full form. An example of semantic translation is the conversion of the XML data from one data model to a second data model using formal ontology for each system, such as a web ontology language is called OWL. The frequently required by the intelligent agents that wish to perform searches on remote computer systems that use different data models to store their data elements. The frequently required by intelligent agents that wish to perform search on the remote computer system that use different data models to store their data elements. So basically, as I have told you again and again, is all about the data which is fed in the computer systems, and while we try to translate into and into the other into the another language, and while we searches in the googles and we have a different language, and we are trying to um, translate it into the different language, is all about the technical information which is fed in the computer as well as in your mobile phone, how we can translate it into the another language, which is called OWL. This process allows a single user to search multiple systems with a single search request is also known as Federated Search. This process allowing a single user to search multiple systems with a single search request is also known as Federated Search. The simplest mapping is of course where there is equivalence R. So class equivalence is indicating that the class or concept are equivalent. For example, person as a same as individual. So class equivalence के बारे में बात हो रही है. And for example, person as a same individual. Property equivalence is the indicating that the properties are equivalent. person give name is the same as first name. Okay. Instance equivalence that two individual instances or of objects are equivalent. For example, Dan Smith is the same person as Daniel Smith. Instance equivalence that two individual instances of objects are equivalent. For example, Dan Smith is the same person as the Daniel Smith. For example, okay. Now we comes to go on the conclusion. Translation can be split in a various number of various. For example, and the conclusion is that translation can be split in a various number of categories, including literary translation, prose, poetry, drama, etc. And non-literary translation is, for example, translations of scientific, technical texts, ठीक है, and social science and humanistic text, commercial text, informative text, or audio-video translations, all are belonging from the non-literary translations. So the question is repeated again and again in your question paper. Describe the translation type of translation. So I have discussed with you all the whole structure, and you have to write in the same manner. First of all, you have to describe what is the translation, and you have to give the proper explanation with the proper definition. ठीक है. Translation can be split in the various numerous of categories, including literary translation, prose, poetry, drama, etc., and non-literary translation. For the example, translations of science, technical text, social science, and humanity text, and commercial text, informative text, or the audiovisual translation. In the next paragraph, you have to explain the categories. Each category is how they have the difficulties and which kind of a characteristics they individually have. Each category of a translation has its own specific characteristics and presents its own difficulties. The department faculty remember have publication and research project in all of these areas. ठीक है. And in the third paragraph, how the department and how the teachers are helpful to make the students enough eligible and enough capable to translate the language in one language to another language by the text, by the theories, and how they make students enough capable to translate in one language to the another language without any difficulties. Okay. Including technical translation, legal translation, audio-video translation, and translation text in the field of the archaeology, art, economics, and social science. As I have discussed with you the semantic translation, how the semantic translation is all about the OWL. ठीक है? Is all about the computer language, as we have seen in the computer and as well as in the laptop. All the in the while we search in the Google or the in mobile data while we using it is all about the semantic translation, where we have representations of data models, and we have to translate in the another data or the representation models. ठीक है. And how the semantic translation take advantage of semantic data associate means with the individual data elements in one dictionary to create an equivalent meaning in a second system. ठीक है. An example of semantic translation is the conversion of the XML data from one data model to the second data model is using formal ontologies for each system, such as the web ontology language OWL. This frequently required by the intelligent agents that wishes to perform searches on remote computer systems that use different data models to store their data elements. This process allowing a single user to search multiple systems with a single search Request is to also known as the Federated Search. ठीक है, एक इंडिविजुअल पर्सन को मल्टीपल सिस्टम्स में सर्च करने का एक एडवांटेज मिलता है एंड विद अ सिंगल रिक्वेस्ट, जिसे फेडरेटेड सर्च भी कहा जाता है. The simplest mapping of is of course where there is equivalence. So as I have discussed with you, class in equivalence is belonging to the person as a same as an individual. Second is property equivalence, which is belonging to the person give name is the same as the first name. And the third is instance equivalence is Dan Smith is the same person as Dan Smith. So you can write your conclusion in your own words. Okay. The next question is what is a semantic translation and how it is different from the others. So as I have to discuss with you, firstly you have to follow the same structure, and secondly you have to add the definition of the semantic translation and the type of translation, how they works very easily, and which kind of a characteristic and which kind of a difficulties we have while we translate semantic translation, and while we transfer the one representation data models to the another representation data models. So this kind of a difficulties we have while we try to do the semantic translation, which is belonging to the computer technical informations all about the data in the mobile phones, in the laptop, as well as in the Google search and in the different area. So I hope you like this video, which is very important according to your examination point of views. Thank you so much.